Once upon a time, though this is not a fairy tale, there was a woman who loved her daughter so much that she forgot to leave room for her to breathe, and a daughter who loved her mother so much that she forgot she was allowed to leave. This is their story. The beginning. When Sofia was born, Lena held her for the first time and felt something crack open inside her chest. Not break, open, like a window that had been painted shut for years. She thought, this is why I exist. And from that moment, without realizing it, she began to build. Not a home, a cage. Brick by brick, word by word, with the most expensive material in the world, love. The first brick. Don't cry. Sofia was 3 years old when she fell off her bicycle. The pain was real. The tears were real. Lena ran to her, heart pounding, and gathered her up. Shh, don't cry. You're okay. Don't cry. She meant, I love you so much, I cannot bear your pain. But love and what love says are sometimes two completely different things. What Sofia heard, in the language that 3-year-olds speak, was something much simpler. Your tears are a problem. Your pain is inconvenient. Stop. And Sofia, because she loved her mother, stopped. She wiped her face, took a breath, and filed away the lesson in that deep place where children store the rules of the world. Feelings are things you hide. She was 3 years old. She would be 35 before she cried again. The second brick. Look at Masha. When Sofia was 6, she painted a picture. A house, a garden, a sky full of impossible birds. She carried it home from school like a treasure, held it out to her mother with both hands. Lena looked at it, then, meaning only to encourage, only to inspire, she said, It's lovely, but look at Masha's painting. See how she did the colors? That's something to aim for. The picture was still warm from Sofia's hands. It went cold in an instant. Sofia went to her room, looked at her painting for a long time, then slowly, carefully, tore it into pieces. Started again, trying to make it look like Masha's. She was 6 years old. She is still doing it at 35. Still tearing up her own work, still trying to paint someone else's picture. The third brick. You'll put me in an early grave. It was a Tuesday evening in October. Sofia was 9 years old and playing in the living room. A vase fell. Not on purpose, just fell. Lena came in tired from a long day, saw the pieces on the floor, and said something she would never remember, but Sofia would never forget. Do you know what you do to me? You put me in an early grave. She meant, I am exhausted. I am overwhelmed. I don't know how to ask for help. But what landed in Sofia's 9-year-old heart was something that would take 26 years to dig out. I am dangerous. My existence hurts the person I love most. I must be very, very careful. She picked up every piece of the vase, slowly, quietly, and something closed inside her. A door, heavy as stone. The fourth brick. I gave up everything for you. Sophia was 15 when she told her mother she wanted to be an artist. She had been painting secretly for years, in notebooks, on the backs of homework, on anything she could find. Her art teacher had pulled her aside that week. "You have a real gift," she had said. "Don't waste it." Sophia came home that evening, burning with something that felt like hope. Lena listened, then took her daughter's hands in hers and looked at her with eyes full of love and said, "Sophia, I gave up my career for you, my dreams, my whole life. I'm not complaining. I'd do it again. But I just want you to have something stable, something real. Is that so much to ask?" She meant, "I love you. I am frightened for you." But what Sophia heard in the space between the words was the sound of a door closing. "Your dreams are not free. They cost me everything. If you follow them, you will steal from me what I have already sacrificed." 3 years later, Sophia enrolled in law school. She told herself it was her own decision. She almost believed it. The fifth brick. I can't live without you. Every Sunday, for as long as Sophia could remember, she drove 3 hours to have lunch with her mother. The table was always set perfectly. The food was always exactly right. And at some point during the meal, always, Lena would reach across the table, take Sophia's hand, and say, "You know I can't live without you. You're all I have." She meant, "I love you more than words." Sophia smiled, said, "I know, Mama," and drove home 3 hours later, with something heavy sitting on her chest, something she had never been able to name. The cage. By the time Sophia was 35, the cage was invisible. She couldn't see the bars. She only knew that certain things felt impossible. Saying no felt like swallowing glass. Crying felt like committing a crime. Wanting something for herself felt like stealing. And every Sunday, she drove 3 hours, not because she wanted to, because she didn't know, had never been told, had never been shown that she was allowed to want something different. The door. It happened on a Sunday evening in November. Sophia had driven home from her mother's house. She sat in her car outside her apartment. The engine was off. The street was quiet. And something, she couldn't say what, made her stay. Just sit. In the dark. In the silence. And slowly, like ice melting, something moved in her chest. A sound came out of her that she hadn't heard in 30 years. Not words, not language, just grief. for the paintings she had torn up, for the dreams she had folded away, for the girl who had learned at 3 years old that her feelings were a problem to be solved. She cried for a long time, and when it was over, she felt something she didn't recognize at first. It took her a moment to name it. Light, coming through a crack, in a door she hadn't known was there. The truth. Here is what I want you to understand. Lena was not a villain. She was a woman who loved her daughter with everything she had, and had never been taught that love without awareness can build a cage out of the softest materials. Silence, sacrifice, need. The most beautiful cage in the world is still a cage. And here is the hardest thing of all. Sofia had to learn not to stop loving her mother, but to love her differently, from outside the cage, with the door open, with her own life, real and full and hers, running alongside, not instead of love, but inside it. Your question. Think of one sentence from your childhood, one you still hear when you look in the mirror, when you dare to want something, when you almost say no and then don't. Where did that sentence come from? And is it yours? Or does it belong to someone who loved you the only way they knew how? Write it in the comments. You might be surprised how many people are living in the same cage and don't know the door is open. See you in the next story.